Welcome to Harmonized. I am your host, Gigi Naval. Well, I've been a registered dietitian for over 30 years. I transitioned from conventional nutrition to functional medicine, which has empowered me to help you so much better to improve your metabolic health by way of improving your gut and hormone health to work in harmony with each other. Hello, friends. Welcome to the very first episode of Harmonized. I have been looking forward to this. I have been praying about this and asking God to guide me whether I should move forward in doing a podcast. I had a podcast before called Nutri-Narratives, and I really enjoyed that season of my life, interviewing nutrition and dietetic students and fellow colleagues in the dietetic world. And I did that for a couple years. And so now I am transitioning. Did I say I am? I mean, I am transitioning to focusing on helping you with your metabolic health by way of rebalancing your gut health and your hormone health. Those all need to work together because that's how God designed our bodies. And when we work on rebalancing these various systems, then it's incredible how our metabolic health improves in leaps and bounds. And I am one who has had my share of GI concerns, GI challenges, hormone challenges, and one of these days I will be intertwining my story throughout all this, okay? But for now, let's talk about the acronym that I love to teach and use in all that I do to help everyone start rebalancing their gut health and their hormone health for much, much better metabolic health. Okay, so here it is. The acronym or the framework is called BETTER. BETTER. And in this episode, we will just talk about the B, what B stands for. And get ready for this. But yes, believe it or not, for good energy, for good gut health, for good hormone health, no matter what stage of life you are in, no matter what age you are, no matter how young you are or middle-aged you are or older, you can always work on balancing your blood sugars. Yes. The sooner you can work on it, the better. But again, at any age, we could start really honing in on our blood sugars because that is where inflammation begins. If our blood sugars throughout the day spike really high and then crashes, and then it spikes again after our next meal, and then it crashes, this can really let several things happen. Okay, so cortisol, the hormone, stress hormone cortisol, can be really ignited even more so throughout the day. When we wake up in the morning, our cortisol level should rise. When we wake up, yes, cortisol should rise. We experience this cortisol awakening within the first 30 minutes of waking up. And yes, we're able to get out of bed, get ready, eat breakfast, take a shower, do what we need to do, get to work, get to school, what have you, whatever your schedule is. And then throughout the day, it should then diminish. It should start going down so that by evening time, it is at a lower level, and melatonin, another hormone, can start to rise and be elevated in time for us to go to bed and go to sleep. Okay. But if our blood sugars are just out of whack, it will affect those particular hormones. It will increase inflammation in our body. It will affect the lining of our gut to become permeable. And yes, we will dive into that later on in other episodes. But for now, if you can just remember to balance your blood sugars by way of, and let's start off with a few action steps that you can take today. Okay, and that includes not skipping any meals within an hour or two or so of waking up. It is a good idea to have that first meal. During the night, we are not eating or drinking, and so we're fasting while we are sleeping. And then it's a good idea to break that fast and keep our cortisol levels from shooting up too terribly high. We do want it to be elevated, but we don't want it to go too high. Okay, but starting off our blood sugars really well with a first meal that consists of an adequate amount of a food item that is rich in protein, such as eggs, okay, such as cottage cheese, such as even tofu or tempeh. So choose one of those, and then think about what you would like to pair it with. Would you like to pair it with a banana or an orange or any fruit that is in season that you love to eat? Okay, so think about that. So that is a really good carbohydrate-rich source that also has fiber. Fiber, so many benefits of fiber, and we'll dive into that later on in other episodes. But okay, so far you have a protein-rich food, you have a fruit of your choice, and then you can have another element that is rich in complex carbohydrate. And fruit is a complex carbohydrate, but you can have something like a piece of whole grain toast. And let's see, what else would you like to have in the morning? Maybe oatmeal, okay, which is organic oatmeal. But that is a balanced meal right then and there. And if you could add to your meal, either to your oatmeal or you drink it, you can have either dairy milk or a plant-based milk for calcium. Believe it or not, but calcium is very important in helping us with our hormone health as well, and other aspects of our health. But so first of all, have that first meal and eat your regular meals throughout the day, and balance each of your meals by always thinking, okay, what is my protein-rich food source that I will have for that meal? What fruit will I have? What carbohydrate-rich source that is a starch that I will enjoy? And then, of course, for lunch and dinner, think about your vegetable source. For me, I have actually been adding a vegetable at my breakfast as well. But if that sounds really weird to you for now, then don't even go there. You don't have to go there for now. You could go there later, but you do what's best for you, but at least include it at lunch and dinner. And your blood sugars will thank you for balancing those meals out. Okay. And then after each meal, as much as you can, if you can go for a 10 or 15 minute brisk walk, or if you have a stationary bike at your house or a little treadmill, walking pad, get on it for 10 or 15 minutes. Your blood sugars will not go up as high. Yes, after each of our meals, because when food is broken down, it is broken down into sugar. And so our blood sugars will rise gently after a meal. But if you are consuming way more carbohydrates than you should at that meal, then it will allow those blood sugars to go up higher than what we would like to see it, so we can spike. And those spikes can affect our cortisol levels. It can affect the lining of our gut. It can make our pancreas, which produces insulin, the hormone to help our blood sugars get into our cells. We can make it work too hard if we are always constantly consuming way more carbohydrates than protein. But don't get me wrong. I am not saying to not have carbohydrates. No. Our number one fuel source is carbohydrates. That's how God designed us. So I wouldn't be cutting that out completely, but I would moderate. I would manage how much I have of that. Okay? And then drink lots of water throughout the day. A lot of people don't think about this, but when we get dehydrated, then our blood sugars can end up going up higher than we would like it to. So definitely work on making sure that you are drinking enough water throughout the day. So what have we said so far? The B in our framework, better, stands for balanced blood sugars. And how do you do that? By not skipping any meals, starting off your day within a couple hours of waking up with a balanced meal, and then 4 or 5 hours later having another balanced meal until the next one, another 4 or 5 hours. Don't wait too long, okay? Yes, have the different components to your meal: a protein-rich food source, a piece of fruit, a starch, and a vegetable. Okay. And then go for a walk or get on your stationary bike if you have it, or if you have a walking pad nearby, get on it for 10 to 15 minutes. But what's best is when you can go outside and enjoy the sun that God created, because that is so therapeutic to our bodies. We can also get vitamin D as we are going for that outdoor walk. And vitamin D is a hormone. It's not really a vitamin, but that will help the rest of our system work better to optimize our metabolic health. All right, so why don't we start there with the B in our framework called better? At the next episode, I will be telling you what the first E stands for. Okay, friends, so in whatever we do, whatever we eat or drink, again, whatever we do, let us do it all for the glory of God. If you have any questions, please ask down below in the comment section. If you would like to sign up for my newsletter, I have a link in the description down below or in the show notes where you can sign up for it.